So what was different about the second N.W.A. album from the first one? You know, in terms of how it came together. I mean, clearly, you know, Ice Cube is gone this time, but you guys are still on fire.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same. Nothing was the same after Cube left. It was a different energy. We did it different, you know. Even the beats seemed like they would have been better suited for a D.O.C. record, you know.
Because that was where the G-Funk kind of started, you know, with the synthesizers and everything else like that, I felt.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
But it was a lot of high-powered, fast-moving, you know, nothing really dirty. Everything was just high energy and moving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I guess that's where the G-Funk started, you know. Laylaw and them like to say, well, Laylaw and them was around then, so yeah.
So once that album came out, did it feel like N.W.A. was starting to sort of break apart at that point? Or was it during the album? Or at what point do you think that things started to sort of crumble?
When Cube left.
Okay. But then Dre left after the second N.W.A. album.
Hey, it's money.
Okay.
You know, it's all about money. It was all money. It's always money. The downfall of the music is somebody got to make money, which means somebody don't.
Or you could just split it fairly.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we lived in Peter Pan's world, that's probably what would happen. But this is America, and real life and business is a dirty thing. And it doesn't matter if it's 5 black kids from Compton or you're in Wall Street doing business with the Wolf, whoever that guy's name was. You're going to get it brought to you if you're not aware of what's going on, you know. And so
Dre was unhappy about the money situation.
Yeah.
He spoke to you about it?
Should have been.
He spoke to you about it?
Sure.
And what was stopping the situation from getting worked out? Because ultimately,
that's not something I'm privy to. I just know it didn't get worked out. Okay. And so Dre and I began to focus as a unit on other things.
Okay. By that time, you and Suge were already close.
Yeah, Suge and I were already. A lot of the going overboard that I mentioned earlier, the drinking way too much, the partying way too much. You know, me and Suge became notorious in Hollywood.
Okay.
We went through a point where they banned us from every joint. You can go in, we'd be walking up to the thing and they'd be like, no, you know what I mean? #1 record or not, bro, you're not coming in here tonight.
Well, you said I think in the Playboy interview that you would go out and make a mess and Suge would beat people up.
Oh yeah.
Over it.
I would make the mess and he would clean it up. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. When you say make a mess, give me an example.
I'm drunk and I'm walking into this club and I slap some guy's girl on her butt. And obviously he's going to not like that, you know. And my response would probably be something really vulgar and childish. And at that point he would have to make a move, you know. And none of those people probably even saw Suge till it was too late.
So it was too late.
And then his people and our people, it would be a big mashup. And then we all be running away from the club like kids, which we were basically. You know?
Okay.
21-year-old kid.
So Suge kind of got depicted sort of as a bodyguard sometimes, but he was just your friend.
Yeah.
That was just your homie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but he was kind of a bodyguard, though. He did play that role.
Okay.
And he enjoyed that. You know,
he liked that.
Suge was a big kid. He's a deviant. You know what I mean? He used to tell stories about pissing on football players' legs in the shower and thought that was just the funniest shit in the world. You know what I mean? He was just a deviant. He just liked to do crazy shit and thought it was funny, you know.
Now, How did the whole thing come together with Suge and Dre and you and David Kenner? Is that something that you facilitated, or is that something that Suge facilitated?
No. Kenner came much later. It was me, Suge, Dre, and a cat named Dick Griffey at first.
Dick Griffey of Solar Records?
Right.
Okay.
Rest in peace, guy. And we decided we would do business together, and we started this thing, you know.
And it was called Funky Enough Records?
No, Funky Enough was me and Suge's thing.
Okay.
Before this thing.
Okay, so originally you and Suge were going to form Funky Enough Records.
Right. And the wreck happened, and now I'm starting this spiral where I can't really exist without those other things. You know what I mean? And it's a really negative place to be in, but nobody can really get me out of it. I'm really upset because at that time, because my voice is gone, it's not coming back. These guys are going up and I'm going down, and I can't stop that spiral. You know what I mean? So, but when Dre fell into that situation with Easy, and we decided that we were going to take another route, then it was easy to see that maybe I could pull myself out of this hole, right? But anybody that knows anything about substance abuse knows that unless you're willing to deal with the root cause of that problem, you're never going to be able to get past it. You know, so I was just an accident waiting to happen, really. But I was still functioning at a high level. So when Dre and I decided to do this label, it was called Future Shock. That's what Dre wanted to call it.
Future Shock.
Future
Records.
Shock. Yeah. Or some
Okay.
Future Shock Entertainment, something.
Okay.
And so,
Like that's taken from Herbie Hancock. Herbie Hancock had a album called Future Shock, or a song
Okay.
called Future Shock.
hey,
Yeah.
Dre's the music guy.
Yeah.
So Kenner came much later when Future Shock began its transformation into Death Row.
Okay.
That's when Kenner came, because there was a guy named Harry O, and Kenner came through that guy.
Right. I interviewed Freeway Ricky recently.
Ah, that's dope.
He said he was there. So you were actually there when Suge Knight, Harry O made their initial deal. Met.
I know how they met. I know the whole thing.
Okay.
Harry O was doing an album on Lydia, his wife.
Right.
So me and him sellies. I tell him, I say, look, you doing an album on Lydia, you better use Dr. Dre on that album. You know him and Easy fell out, so he ain't working right now.
Okay.
So Harry took that advice and started looking for Dr. Dre.
And Suge Knight.
And Suge Knight was his manager.
So how did Suge really attach himself to Dre at that point?
Well, we were already attached in business.
In business?
You know, yeah, we were already attached because we were doing business together.
Well, but how was Suge involved in it though?
Well, I put Suge and Dre together
Okay.
so that we can build this other thing. You know, Dre, we could do it. This guy can help us.
Well, what part did Suge really play? Like, you know, because we understand what Dre's part is.
Right.
Dre's the music guy.
Suge facilitated some of the business, some of the things we needed in business to move forward, right?
Okay.
Through Dick Griffey, right?
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
Dick Griffey was involved at this
Oh,
point.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it was going to be a Solar Records thing.
No.
No.
It was going to be whatever the fuck we wanted it to be, but we had to get it established first. So we built this company and started making deals to facilitate the use of making these records. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And once things started going rolling, Snoopy came in, then big help bring deals to the table that brought money in, and it was all to make the records.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so as the record started to pull itself together, then things started to change on the business front.
Right.
And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know when the moment was that Dre and Suge, went like that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. I was no longer really involved in those conversations, and I was in a bad spot. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because by that time, all these guys started to come around looking like they had just gotten out. They was on the yard or something.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to feel super uncomfortable. That's when all the stuff that that I'd been writing about, it started to, really show itself in my everyday life. You know what I mean? And it put me on my heels, because I didn't know exactly what to do at that point. Like, I can't fight all these dudes by myself. And if Dre and I aren't on the same page, then I'm in a lose-lose kind of spot.
Well, why the name Death Row?
One of the girls who were around during that time just said the name, and it stuck.
Death Row.
Yeah, it fit.
Quite a name.
Oh yeah, it totally fit.
Now, did you feel that, considering that there was the Funky Enough thing originally, and you kind of facilitated also, that you should have been part of the business side of Death Row, like as a part owner or something like that, or were you just like, I'm just rolling at this point? Because you came out of a situation where your business wasn't right.
Right. Well, actually, my business was never right.
Okay.
And I trusted. One thing about me, I'm a loyal guy.
Seems like it.
That's the one string I can play is that I'm a loyal guy.
Yeah.
Like if I got it with me, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna take it to the grave with me. You know what I mean? Good or bad, because the choices I made led to those things. Those guys didn't make choices for me.
Yeah.
And so I was just in a bad spot, man. And Snoop always said, I got a lot of respect for you, man, because you're out here by yourself. Your mama can't help you out here. And I dug that from Snoop. Like, he understood the position that I was in. That's why he really gravitated towards me.
Well, Snoop actually lived with you.
Yeah.
Snoop moved into your house.
Yeah. And then I moved into his house.
Then you moved into his house.
Maybe a year later.
Right.
Yeah.
So you and Snoop, you were helping to really build Snoop into what he is today.
Oh, yeah, man. Me, Snoop, and Warren G.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time. And for me, it was about helping him. See, because Snoop was already the guy. He just didn't know like I knew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you knew right away when you heard Snoop? That
No, didn't know right away. Dre did.
Dre did.
Yeah, Dre knew right away. And he sold me. And so when he sold me, then I took it upon myself, okay, this is my mission.
Okay.
My mission is to build him to be as confident as I was in what we're doing,
Okay. And the outcome was incredible.
Told you he was already the guy. I just helped him out.
Okay. But in the process of trying to get Death Row going, you, Dre, and Michelle A. were still under contract at Ruthless.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you saw how this situation was presented in the Straight Outta Compton movie, where Eazy-E showed up in the studio and Suge's dudes beat him up and made him sign something over. I've talked to a number of people around the situation. I talked to BG Knockout. I talked to...
I like him.
Yep. I talked to Cole 187.
I like him too.
I talked to Arabian Prince.
I like him too.
One thing that they all told me was that Eazy didn't get beat up. So you're saying that they pulled guns out on him?
Yeah, absolutely.
And basically said, sign this.
Right.
Did Eazy get beat up like the movie show?
Nah, hell no.
No.
They didn't touch him.
They didn't touch him?
Nah.
He just told me, like, dude coming at me in a certain way, and I don't even really tripping. you know, but nobody gonna make me do nothing. We can agree to some, you know, that's what he said. No one's gonna make me do nothing, but we can agree to some stuff. But I don't know about the secret meetings that he never came back and told me anything.
I think they forced him to sign, but I don't think they beat him down.
I had heard, you know, the story that I'd heard was they had like baseball bats and metal pipes.
Yeah, I
and
heard
so
that.
forth. Yeah, I didn't hear about the beat up part.
Yeah. Like when they was stomping him in the studio, I don't think that happened. And like I said, that's from what I hear from the people I know that was around at the time.
Yeah, I can pretty much. I can't attest to it. I don't know for sure, but from what I know, yeah, you wasn't gonna beat him up. You know what I mean? If you did, it would be a couple of dead cats in the world, and if he had to be one of them, you know what I mean? That's what I got from him.
Right.
You know, but you know, it's a movie, man. You give it poetic license. You know, as far as that movie is concerned, period. Were all of those, I mean, you can tell from the stories I just told you.
Yeah.
But you give it poetic license. It's a movie about a moment in time for those men who executive produced the movie, and it was written, if you'll excuse me, probably by a European who, from my perspective, generally tends to write caricatures of what really took place in those times, based on, you know, whatever their idea of what we were then. But it was a great fucking movie. I didn't even go to the premiere. I went to the movies with my girl like a regular person, and I loved it.
But watching yourself on the screen.
It was cool, man. The guy did a great job. You know, Marlon Yates Jr., and I'm indebted to him, you know, because he made D.O.C. kind of a cool dude.
Right. Did you talk to Suge about that easy situation in terms of what happened? No, you never questioned it.
No, like Eric and I weren't as close as Eric and those other guys, you know. And, and I just gave you 1,000 reasons why, you know.
No, I feel you.
I respect those guys for the past, but I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, the story that BG Knockout gave me on camera was that
Dre called him, you know, to meet with him to sign over, you know, sign him, get him out the contracts or release him or whatever. But when he get there, Suge was there. So they was in a hotel room. Suge had dudes hiding in the closet under the bed. And when he get up there, Suge locked the door. All these cats come from under the bed and out the closet in the bathroom with guns. You know what I'm saying?
And Dre was in there?
Dre wasn't there.
Oh, Dre wasn't there at all?
Nah. Dre set it up, though.
It don't sound nothing like Dre. It don't sound nothing like I've been doing that dude for a long time. And I've been really close for a long time, and that just don't sound like nothing he would do, bro.
Yeah. Does it sound like something Suge would do?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, but it definitely don't sound like some shit Dre would do.
Okay.
I think he's feeling the same aggression that a lot of people are feeling, like the whole, where he said, you know, I've been out for months and years before him. Yeah, a lot of people have been out a lot longer than me and not blown up, you know, nearly as quickly or whatever. So a lot of people have that, you know, that built up that feeling about it, and that's okay.
So he said, you got any scripts? I said, nigga, I'll be right back. Ain't bullshit. Got in the car, nigga, went over to Press's house, got the script, foolish. So brought it back, handed it to the nigga. The nigga gave me a check for $1 million.